Hey, Ed, Justin Simmons had that tough matchup against Mike Evans at the goal line the other day, but overall, through 3 games, how do you think Justin has been playing?
He's played well. He's the catalyst to our back end there. Got the big pick against Pittsburgh, and he's had some really good man coverage.
Next up, Andrew Mason.
Hey, Ed, obviously tough losing the guys on the defensive line, but what have you seen from Deshaun Williams and McTelvin Agim that can have them ready to contribute?
Yeah, I think they both can help us in a lot of ways, but they're both high-effort players, and Bill Kolar's done a great job with those guys. And Deshaun's a guy that's been in our program for a while, in and out. He's kind of earned his stripes, shows really good toughness and anchor. And McTelvin, he's a first-year guy that he gets better weekly.
Next one, Kyle Newman.
Hey Ed, what are your thoughts on the inside linebacking core, Alexander Johnson and Josie Jewell, and how are they continuing to develop that chemistry? And what are you looking to see more of from those two?
Yeah, well, we're real happy with them. We just want to play better as an overall defense, but they're doing their job. They're meshing well, and we just want to put together 11 guys so we can get a win.
Next one, Zach. And guys, as a reminder, if you no longer have a question, please lower your hand. Go ahead, Zach.
Hey, Coach, what's the key to getting more pressures? Do you feel like you need to bring more guys and do some blitzes, or how do you get to the quarterback more?
Yeah, it's a combination. You can keep adding people, 5, 6. That's one way. But then through technique, and setting up your rushes, which our guys did a really good job last week. There was a lot of good pressures. We ended up yielding a few sacks. But that's something in progress for us.
Final two, Woody and Jeff. Woody, are you there? Okay, Jeff, finish this off, please.
Hey, Ed, beyond the sort of next guy in there, how do you adjust to having so many defensive linemen go on, suffer injuries, including Jarrell?
Yeah, well, that's the name of the game. When these times hit, sometimes it rains a little harder certain years, but it always stops. And we have all our energy is put on, the remedy. And one is teaching our players, helping to get them in great positions where they can be effective. So that's where all our energy is focused right now. And, we relish these challenges. This is why you coach, for these tough times to work through them, and it always gets brighter.
Hi, Pat. Going with Brett on Thursday night. What did you see from him on his final drive that gives you some a foundation for what he likes to do on Thursday night?
Well, I mean, we'll hold with what we like to do, but with regard to Brett, he executes well. He's quick-minded. He gets the ball out quickly, which I think is important. And he went in and did some good things. And so, that's what we're going to do moving forward. We're looking forward to putting the plan together for him to be able to go out and execute and, try to put that effort on the field and get a win.
Next up, Troy.
Coach, how much can a run game help, ease some of the pressure you guys have seen? And what was part of the decision with Brett, his ability to get rid of the ball quickly?
Well, I mean, I think the run game's important, and when we run the ball early, we got to get more out of the runs early in the game. We got to use the runs to help us get in the end zone. So we got to do a better job running the ball throughout the game, especially early in the game, in my opinion. And then with regard to why Brett gets the ball out quickly, that's his nature. And I think he has a pretty good idea of what we want to get done. He knows what he's looking for. He knows when he sees it, and he's willing to pull the trigger.
Next one, Zach.
Hey, Coach, without Brett having much experience with the first-team offense, what do you do this week, especially on a short week, to kind of expedite that chemistry with the rest of the first team?
Well, there's everything's expedited when you play on Thursday night. The schedule is very abbreviated. We try to work on things that we've worked on in the past, and obviously plays that we think are going to work well against the Jets. They're going to be a tough opponent on defense. I've played against Greg Williams style defense in the past. They like to bring pressure. So everything's compressed. You work longer, you work later, and you try to put a plan together.
As a reminder, if you no longer have a question, please lower your hand next to Mike.
Yeah, Coach. 3 starting quarterbacks in 3 games. A little
Yeah.
unusual there. How much? Everyone wonders about whether the players get down and you got to pick them up. Is it that way for the coaches too? Do you guys get together and say, "Hey, we can't feel sorry for ourselves. Got to figure this
No.
out"?
No, we've all been in this long enough to know. I watched this kind of thing happen other places I've been. And listen, the whole idea is to put together a plan to beat your next opponent. And Rip's going to be our starter on Thursday night, and we're going to do everything in our power to help him have success and help him lead us to a victory. And then when that game's over, you reassess and you get ready for the next game and move forward. And, we as coaches are, we're educators by trade. And so, we feel challenged to be able to teach even better in situations where, you're facing adversity like we are. I'm going to keep from talking about, our team in terms of, youth and injury and all that, because those are excuses. The players we have to get ready to play. And we as coaches feel challenged and inspired to put a winning effort on the field every week.
Final 2, Andrew then Ryan.
Another player coming in, DeMar Dotson, of course, for Elijah Wilkinson. How has he progressed since he came into camp, and how does he kind of compare to where he's been over the years with the Bucs?
Well, it goes without saying, he's a veteran presence, and so he's a guy that's played a lot of football. He's played at a high level, and we're glad that he's here, and he knows what we're doing, and I look forward to him having a good night.
Ryan, finish us off, please.
Hey, Pat, on the pass protection front, the last 2 games, is the bigger issue guys losing their matchups, or is it communication and mental errors where guys are just running free?
No, I don't think, I think, we had a couple of times where we were hot against Pittsburgh. I think what's happened the last couple of weeks, at least last week, there was one time where we were a little loose with our communication, but for the most part, the communication was good. I think it's a battle, and so that's why it's important for us to do better early in the game, put points on the board, so you're not in a mostly throw it mode like you get into, which is tough against any team. But our guys are up there battling. Each guy that's out there playing, and there's a lot of them out there playing that are learning a lot from each event. And so I anticipate that we'll be good Thursday night.
Specifically on the punt block, what broke down in the protection, and how do you fix that to prevent that from happening in the future?
Well, I'm not going to go through the protection part. What it comes down to is I got to do a better job. There's 3 letters when it comes to the fault there. It's TOM. We got to be ready for that on game day. And it comes down to me, Mace.
Next one, Kyle.
Hey, Coach, any thoughts on the returner situation? I know obviously Deontay Spencer has been doing the bulk of it, but will we see Hamler, Judy back there going forward?
Possibly. Yeah, everybody just keeps developing. It's a great competition. Those guys compete every day. And I think that eventually we'll see all of those guys.
Guys, anyone else on the line have anything for Coach? Okay, we got 2 more, Mike and Zach. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Coach. Definitely on the positive side, your kicker Brandon McManus. Any area you can tell us about where he's better than when you first saw him a couple of years ago, first coached him a couple of years ago?
I just think the mental part, Mike, consistency. He goes out and hits the same kick all the time. He doesn't play the wind, like he used to. He knows he has leg strength. I think we all know that you got to play the wind when you get beyond your apex, and his apex is about 49, 50 yards. So the ball's not coming down and the wind's not going to push it until it gets to that point. And so he just goes and hits the same kick all the time. And he's a hell of a leader in our locker room.
Go ahead, Zach.
Coach, obviously with the block punt there, but the rest of the game, how would you grade your special teams unit?
Well, Zach, we didn't get challenged. There was no return opportunities. In the punt return game, there was no return opportunities from the kick return game. And then we didn't have to cover any kicks other than the after safety. So the one thing that got much, much better was our punt coverage. Sam wants to get a lot more hang time on balls, but he is hitting the edges. But I thought our tackling was much, much improved from the week before. We didn't have any missed tackles where we had 14 the week before. But the one negative play, you give up 7 points. And like I said, it's 3 letters, TOM. We can't put our team in that situation, and we have to get better, and it starts just with me.